Everybody, I'm just going to see if I can. No, I have to do this. I have to do this. And then I do this. All right, let me try this. I'm live. I should be able to do this, right? There we go. Technology. Thee and me are going to have a chat eventually. All right, so here we are. It's the 28th of March. So, gosh, 29, 30, 31, 1. 4 days until birthday month. Not that I'm, keen or anything. So my name is Abby Hagyard, for those of you who are just joining me. And for those of you who have, hey there, Charles. Those of you who have been here before, welcome back. And Charles, I love that pin. I love that semicolon pin. I really want to know where you found it. It's so cool. Charles posted a like punctuation pin, semicolon, and he was saying it's the difference between a semicolon and a full stop is a full stop, everything ends, and semicolon is just a pause. I love that. That's so cool. Anyway, here we are today, and I have a couple of cool things to talk to you about. And I hope I have cool things every time, but this time is kind of special. And I want to begin by saying to the new people who have chosen to climb aboard, welcome. The purpose behind my doing these videos is that there's 3 or 4 things going on here. First of all, I wanted to give people a chance to realize that Mom, there she is, and my Care Bears and some of my other creatures and personalities and work and shoes and hats, we are all alive and well in Ottawa, Canada. And we are none the worse for a few years under our feet. And we are working on a couple of really great projects that all kind of come together. Good morning, Freddie. Wonderful to see you. And Charles and Freddie are actually, Charles and his wife, and Freddie and Chris are part of one of these projects that I'm working on. It's very exciting. The project is a whole bunch of information, actual tools that work, and my Viking military brat survivor, thriver, navigation and coaching all thrown into the mix. So it's a program of getting yourself out of a rut. It's an opportunity to realize the things that we do without really thinking that keep us stuck. It's designed to boost your confidence and make you feel, yeah, you know what? I am walking here, and I do think I might got this in a minute. I just need some more practice. Because we've all been through a lot lately. We've been through some really challenging, surprising times. And one of the benefits about having me involved in your lives is that as a military kid, I was taught, learned very early how to hit the ground running when everything changes with no warning and without you having any say in it. It is a tough thing to go through. It is a tough thing for anyone at any age, and it is really exhausting to go through it repeatedly. And that is the life of a military brat. It also, coincidentally, is the life of anybody in show business, because everything is very transient and everything is gypsy-ish. And so I'm kind of specially equipped to mom your way through the rough patches. And when I managed to get through COVID unscathed and saw so many people really struggling, it puzzled me at first, and then I saw why. And when I saw why, I thought, okay, I need to do this. This matters to me. I hate seeing people really set adrift. It's so difficult when it happens to you. You don't want to see it happen to anyone else. So I started this project. Kind of got sidetracked with the worst of COVID. Kind of got sidetracked for over a year when I lost someone, and before the loss, there was a lot of hospital time. So pulled the brakes on everything. But we're back now. I spent the last 10 days fine-tuning the covers of the books that are part of this program. And today, after the video, I'm going to leap into the website that has been set up for me and start fine-tuning that, so there's a place that people can go and see what they need to see to decide in what way they want to join me. So that's very exciting. And I'm kind of hoping I can get some stuff really accomplished by the time my birthday hits, which is on the 16th of April. And my plan for the live one woman show is this summer. I'm still firming up a date. I'm already doing one live event. It would be kind of fun to sort of piggyback them to leverage each other. So I'm looking into that possibility. So lots and lots on the go. And the purpose for these videos is to get you interested, curious, check it out, check out the kinds of things I'm saying. My clients, my ideal clients, are people who, well, I kind of call them the healers. They're the CEOs. They're the people for whom the buck stops here. People rely on them. They are carrying more than their weight. They're carrying the weight of others. And they chose it. And they're not sorry. It's just sometimes they could use a little help. So that's who my inner circle client is. Lots of small business owners. I already have a few who weren't really aware of this program. They just had heard from other people who hired me to get them through their rough patches, and then ended up writing books about it, because the book is the trophy at the finish line. And when people say, "Oh my God, what was it like?" they can say, "Here, read my book." And so that's been a very interesting journey. Anyway, that is the backstory. So today, sip of coffee before we start, whatever your beverage is. Okay, so one of the things I'm going to do as I'm putting all the material together for the books, and the project is called Pivotry. By the way, Pivotry in motion because we are always, all the time, awake and asleep, little molecules in motion. Pivotry, the difference between coffee and board, the difference between a pivot and Pivotry is the mindset, reset, shift, redirect, recalibrate, chart the course. The pivot is what happens, what we're able to do once we have all that creative, strategic stuff in place. So where I am on the path is where we start before we pivot, what we do so that our pivot is amazing. People forget that step. The motivational people who say you got to do more to be more. Yeah, but first of all, you have to find not simply the why, but the which part of me is best suited to do that. I need to profile me, profile the situation, profile the competition, factor that into the equation, and then pick the version of me that's going to rock the world. That's Pivotry. And in the dictionary under Pivotry, once they enter it, it's going to say my name. I'm the poster child. So anyway, I wanted to show you this. This is my first business book, and it was published in hardcover in 2006 by a publisher who had hired me to go through all of her projects and clean them up. Kind of an editor, kind of a strategic planner, kind of a pathfinder for her. Navigate, what do you want this book to do for you, sort of thing. Based on what you want it to do for you, that's how we adapt it. That's how we change the way the cover looks. That's how we frame the introduction. It has to work for the person who's pushing the book. And she was so interested because she hadn't heard anybody explain it that way to her. She wanted to know where I came up, like who told me that. And I said, well, nobody told me that. It's what I do. And she said, really? I'll tell you what, I'll make you a deal. If you write it down, I'll publish it for you. Alrighty then. It's my first opportunity. So I did. And I called it Market Centrics. And the subtitle is When Your Market Strategy is All About Them, Success Belongs to You. And when your market strategy is all about them is not give them what they want. The customer's always right. The market strategy is what are they doing? What are their priorities? It's a profiling exercise. When you are focused on what your ideal client wants, is doing, needs, is missing, you're light years ahead of the competition. Because weirdly, and it doesn't happen consciously, weirdly, when people get in business, they get in business looking at the competition, what the competition is doing, and say, okay, they're doing this, I'm going to do that. Or I'm going to do it like them, but taller. Okay, but the competition shouldn't be your focus because the competition isn't buying from you. They're helping you go out of business. The person you should be focusing on is the customer. And so many businesses fail at that. So many fail at that. So what I did when I was talking about my strategy and when I was talking about what it means to me to pay attention to the real focus of your needs and your wants and your desires is a complete rethink on why we're even here. And the funny thing was that halfway through publishing me, she realized it was going to cost her some time and money to do it, and she reneged on the deal. And she said, "No, you're going to have to. I don't have time for that. I'm not going to spend that kind of money, so you have to do it." And I said, "No, no, I'm not changing the deal. If you don't want to do it, you're fired. Give me back the rights. You can't have them." And I unpublished it. So it has been sitting here waiting for its moment to arrive. And the funny thing is, in going back through it and looking at everything, nothing has gone stale. Nothing is incorrect because, oh, that's old hat, that doesn't work anymore. So that's very exciting. So this is going to be one of the books in the Pivotry collection. And the reason I wanted to do a business focused book is for the people who are running their businesses. They're wearing a lot of hats. They're the daughter hat, they're the parent hat, they're the sibling hat, they're the neighbor hat, they're the friend hat, they're the I like to go bowling hat, and they're the CEO hat. And all of the people who rely on them in their CEO capacity, who depend on them, that's a lot of hats. And it's a lot of responsibility. And it's very easy to get confused and off course. Very easy because we're so busy running and changing hats. And we forget to center ourselves and say, wait a minute, what the hell am I doing this for? Who thought that was a good idea? Oh, wait. So I thought, yeah, we need to include that. We need to talk to the people who are in a place. So many hats on one head. Yeah. And the thing is, Adrian, we don't even know we're doing it because we've always done it. So the question today, episode 240, by the way, 240 of these episodes, so cool. And over 323 or 4, I think now. So almost doable to get me to 350 by my birthday on YouTube. 323, I think at last count, it might be 24, 324 subscribers on my YouTube channel. Wow, thank you. So here's the question. If you're seeing this on YouTube, if you're seeing this on Facebook, if you're seeing this on LinkedIn, I want to talk about the fact that we choose many things that give us a reasonable excuse to stay stuck. We do. We all do it. I do it. I even know I'm doing it when I'm doing it. And I say, you know, you're not fooling anybody. And I say, I know. So the question that's it's two big questions and kind of a third, what do you think question today. What do you choose? Is it a story that you tell yourself? Is it, well, I would, but, oh, if only I? Is it that? Is it enough tasks we put in the way of getting to the big thing? I need to do this first before that. Really? Do you really? Really? You do? I mean, maybe you do. Entirely possible, but have you looked at it or have you just said it and that's given you the breathing room to procrastinate, to put off the big thing? Have you done your taxes yet? No. Well, when are you going to start? 2 weeks. Why 2 weeks? Because I'm waiting for a very important piece of paper. I need that piece of paper. Oh, okay. That sounds legit. You sure you can't go ahead without it? I can't go ahead without it. Okay. All right. Fair enough. So there is a legit reason. Could I get it sooner? Yeah, I could. I could. Move heaven and earth, I could. However, I still have a reasonable window to get my taxes done. So taxes there. Done your spring cleaning yet? No. And what have you put in front of that, may I ask? Yeah, the book cover designs and the website. I've got the spring cleaning. I've got 4 out of 6 rooms done. So it's not I haven't started. It's just I've paused. So those are mine right now. Those are my immediates. Have I done other stuff that I've been meaning to do? You know what? I have a list and I'm working away at it. The conversations that I have that pop up a flag for me in this conversation. What do you choose? Because it gives you permission to stay stuck. What do you choose that allows you to be helpless? What do you say that allows you to give yourself a pass? The way I just did. So I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, a few weeks ago, actually now. And I said, how is that situation going with that difficult person? And the answer was, well, what can you do? Was that rhetorical? Like, were you just speaking to the universe or were you actually asking me that question? Because did you want to know what I would do? No, I don't want to know. I know what you would do. It'd be dead bodies everywhere, metaphorically speaking. Well, okay, so what does the question mean? What can you do? Answer, well, it's just, it's so exhausting and it's so much work and it's just not, I don't know if it's even worth it. I mean, I don't even know if I'm blowing this out of proportion. Me. Are you deliriously happy with it? Well, who is deliriously happy about anything? This person says, okay, you're just annoying now. You're just annoying. I'm fine. It's fine. It'll run its course. I mean, things eventually run their course. Sure they do. Why are you waiting? Why are you paying for it? Amazing conversation with my wonderful advisor on the sale of the house. We listed a price. The first offer came in so astonishingly low. I called him and I said, is it a joke? What is that? And he said, well, it doesn't matter what they think they're doing. It matters what we want to do. And I'll tell you what I don't want to do. I don't want you paying for their renovations. They're lowballing you because they want to save the money they've got pre-approved to do the fix-ups. I'm not underwriting that. You shouldn't be underwriting that. That's their problem. Our price is our price. Stick to your guns. We love him. So, so I said to this person, why are you using my sweet friend's words? Why are you underwriting their selfishness? Why are you paying for it? I'm not. Yes, you are. If you're putting up with it, it's draining you. It's an energy vampire. It's a joy vampire. Why are you letting him bite you on the neck all the time? What are you doing that for? Well, you put it that way. What other way is there to put it? Weeks passed. How's it going? Oh, same old, same old. And what does that mean? Well, it means it is what it is. What am I supposed to do? Own it? Disown it? Draw a heart-shaped line in the sand and love it from afar? Oh, you always have an answer for everything. No, I don't. No, I don't. What I do is I have priorities. And I've chosen to choose me. I've chosen to choose managing my best outcomes. And what I realized in that conversation is, okay, stop pushing, because the readiness isn't there, if it ever will be. The ownership is confusing for a lot of us. People truly feel that they have control over their lives. Take control of your emotions. Good luck with that. Take control of the situation. It might be splitting words. How about make the decision to put managing your share in it, your part in it, to serve your best outcome for the greatest good, your best outcome and the greatest good. Managing your part in it. No one's an island. No one stands alone. There's stuff going on all the time. I'm in motion, you're in motion, he's in motion, she's in motion, they're in motion. We can't control all of that. But the person who says, it is what it is, has chosen a spot, has chosen the flag to own. I'm here. These are my terms, and I'm not changing for anybody. And when I said in the little description, it may surprise you what's really going on, it is an unconscious decision to be right. It is an unconscious need to be able to say at the end of the day, I knew it, I told you, I knew. It is an unconscious action to control something. And we do it when we feel helpless, when we feel rudderless, when we feel panicky, when we feel frustrated, that so many things are spinning out of control. Well, at least I'm going to control this. This is mine. I can control this. And then whatever it is they say they are going to control, they're going to bend themselves into pretzels to make it happen. No matter who else is in this equation, this event. Conversation with somebody who, oh my gosh, talented, dedicated, committed, driven, smart, told me about a relationship. Toxic from the beginning. Knew it 5 seconds after it began and didn't walk away. Why not? Well, I was in love. Okay. And then what happened? Well, and then this broke, and then this got done, and that, had to go to court, lost this, blah, 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 something else, got together, decided to try again, more of the same, repeat, 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 repeat. Did you not realize that if a thing works, people do it again? Well, I thought eventually they'd realize what they were doing. No, they realized in the beginning what they were doing. You mean to you? Well, yeah. Oh, they realized that too. Well, that's wrong. Only from your perspective. Works fine for them. Look what they got away with. Thing, 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 thing. Reset thing, 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 thing. Who paid the price? Me. Then why did you keep paying it? I was in love. With? Pain? What? An idea. I was in love with an idea. And I didn't want the idea to be an illusion. But it was an illusion. You were attaching an idea to the wrong person, the wrong character. The idea is great. But just because they show up for the audition doesn't mean they're the right person for the role. I know. You'd do it again, though. Probably. Why? Why would you do it again? Because you want to have a happy ending. You're going to stand there and dig in your heels and demand a happy ending? I guess so. Okay, but there isn't one. Well, there might be. You see what that sounds like? It sounds wistful and hopeful and idealistic. And it also sounds like somebody who, gosh darn it, is going to win this thing because that's what I want, is what's also going on. I have a brilliant, brilliant friend. Oh my gosh, so smart. And she said one day, let me ask you a question. Do you think the story's true? Or do you think it needs to be true to justify what's going on? What? Is it reasonable? It's, I told the story of another person, another friend, another client. So this person has told themselves a story and said, and that's the way it goes, and that's the way it's going, and that's the way it's always gone, so that's the way it's always going to go. I'd explained it to her, and she said, so that's what they're doing, yeah. So is that true? Is it immutable? Is it a done deal? Or is this person saying it has to be true? It has to be a done deal to give me permission, freedom to keep doing what I'm doing to me, to stay stuck. I'm going to stand right here until the wave comes back. I'm going to stand right here. I'm going to hold my breath till I turn blue until they change their mind. They won't let me hurt myself. So we're gambling. We're blackmailing. We're guilting people into giving up what they want to satisfy what we want, that's not a relationship. That's a hostage taking. Both of them, both sides. Each one entrapping the other, fighting over control. What a swell way to live, really. So in Market Centrics, I think at the time I profiled 50 businesses. And the 50 that I chose were the ones that did the thing I was talking about. They looked at where they were. They looked at what was going on. They looked at what seemed to be a logical outcome as opposed to an emotional, well, if they really cared, right? And they said, all right, we got to do something. And they did. And because they did, they carved a very distinct, set apart path in the marketplace. And they became remarkable because of that. People noticed them. They were outliers. They were rebels. And then all of a sudden, when other businesses saw the benefit in the path they chose and the reason why they chose it, a lot of other businesses began to follow suit, trying to find ways to be similar and yet different. So what these pioneers did was they said, I think we've run out of reasonable options to just keep adjusting and staying stuck, staying planted. I think it ain't working. And as I had profiled all these businesses and talked to some of them personally, I was reminded of the story, the historic trigger that caused the Viking Exodus. So the Scandinavians and all the countries back in those days, that all the countries that whose land bordered the water. So you had all the Scandinavia, you had the British Isles, you had the edges of Europe, and the Mediterranean, and so on south. And what people did in those days is they would make it through the winter. They would plant their crops in the spring, and then they would get in their boats and go raiding, leaving the older people and the children and the women behind to tend the animals and pull the weeds and whatnot. And they would go raiding, and they would all go to each other's places. That's why they were able to get so much stuff. Everybody's gone. I left and took his cow. Meanwhile, he was at my place taking my cow. Wave at each other in the passage. How you doing? Good to see you. And that was the way the summers were spent. And then they would come back in time for bringing the crops in the fall and then hunkering down for the winter ad nauseum. Many of the countries were very small, little, like the Sheriff of Nottingham was a small area within all of England. And so all these little villages were entities unto themselves, and they would maybe be 2 or 3 villages, and then there would be somebody in charge of all of that. And they gradually, as the populations increased, and they began looking to conquer the next group and the next group and expand their reach and expand their power. And this happened in Norway. A man who wanted to amalgamate a lot of the countries, a lot of the small areas, and he wanted to be the first king of Norway. And so their tactic was this: they went to visit with armies. They went to visit the wealthy landowners and said, "This is our plan, and you have 2 options. Door number 1 is you stay we kill you and we seize your lands and all your assets. Door number 2 is you leave immediately with your immediate family, and we take all your land and possessions. Clock's ticking, let us know. And they went around and told all of the wealthy who had the money, who had the boats, who had the resources to leave or stay. And a lot of the Vikings said, get in the boat, because why stay? And so what then became known as the Viking Exodus, because they left en masse. And where they were going, no idea. They were going to go and find someplace else to live so that they didn't have to deal with this craziness, and would be a lot of death and destruction. Some of the places they went were already inhabited, and so there was a lot going on there. A lot of places weren't inhabited, and suddenly you had people exploring places and discovering Iceland and Greenland and America, North America, South America, the Caribbean, Australia. They went everywhere as their plan B. Why? Because it wouldn't matter how firm they stood. Plan A wasn't going to get them anywhere. Yep. Our family has lived on this land. Yeah, but he's going to die on this land if you stay. Some stayed. But by the way, that man did become the first king of Norway, Harald I, Harald Bluetooth. So if you want to stay, you need to know why. If you want to stay and enjoy it and own it and thrive in it. Adrian, just wondering, if everyone was logical, do you think the world would be better? Well, no. No, you need both. You need balance, Adrian. Logical. You mean an engineer? Artists and engineers. Both are essential. I think the world is a better place because there are both. I think that is the way it has to work. You have to have the arabesques of fluid creativity and what ifs underpinned with logic. Make sure the thing works. Make sure that when we step on it, it doesn't fall over, even though it looks pretty. It needs both. Form and substance. How about that? Well, hello, Muriel. How wonderful to see you. Thank you for joining us. So what I want to talk about today with this book and with standing firm. I'm not moving. You can't make me. Oh yeah, we can. Is what are you choosing that gives you permission to stay stuck? And I want to talk about what that looks like. I want to talk about the resistance we put up and why we do. So a very dear friend of mine is going through a hellish experience at the moment. It scared the living daylights out of her. And, you can look at anything as a disaster. You can look at it as a wake-up call. You can look at it as, I wonder what this is for. That's the 5 steps back. Deep breath, let it out. Objective question. Yes, okay, it's painful. Yes, I have to have a Band-Aid now because this hurts. I wonder what it's for. What's going on? What is it for? What am I learning here? So for the first time in her life, she's grew up in an area. She's always lived in the area, moved in different places, but all close to the area, knows all the same kinds of people, knows all the places, the schools, the churches, knows how everything goes. And then something happened out of the blue last fall that surprised her, scared her, um, brought her up suddenly, uh, in that she was accused of something that she didn't do. And for the life of her, she could not get past. But that's wrong. That's not fair. It's not. What do you mean? How could you do that? She was stuck in the emotional place of simultaneous fight, flight, freeze. What she was focusing on was being right, making it back off, making it erase its steps, which isn't possible. You can't unlive something. Well, her focus was on the surprise, the uncertainty, the fear, the pain, and the absolute blankness when she had to figure out, what do I do now? And perfectly reasonable. Absolutely reasonable. Why? Why is it absolutely reasonable that she would go through all that stuff? Because she'd never been in a place that was scary and unfamiliar before. She had never had something completely new and dark and scary thrust upon her. She had no experience to fall back on. She had no immediate tools available to her. Open the toolkit, nothing in there. She couldn't say, well, I remember the time, because she hadn't had one. And it really broke my heart to see the pain that was swirling around her, because she was focusing on controlling something that was completely beyond her control. She was focused on, well, it's not fair. It's wrong. Okay, doesn't matter. Debate it all you like. But until you stop doing that, you'll stay stuck here. You'll stay stuck afraid. You'll stay stuck in this high toxic, terrorized adrenaline rush. You're not helping anybody. You're not helping you. And the more you fan it and the more you're unhappy with it, the longer it stays. Well, why are you so good at this? Well, because the scary, unfamiliar, surprising, unhappy, dark. Hello, I don't believe we've met. I'm a military brat. Well, how do you do it? You focus on what you can do to own what's going on. You find out what they do. You find out how it works, and you ask experts, and then you talk to somebody and figure out your plan. It was a great Sun Tzu, the advisor to the ancient Chinese warlord, wrote a collection of his rules. The Art of War, it's called. He who is first on the field owns the enemy. I said, okay, so the enemy, it's familiar territory to them, and it's not familiar to you. You don't have to go to the law school and figure out how the court system works. You don't have to go and take judo to figure out how to physically defend yourself. You just have to figure out what they do and why they do it and what their rules are. And then you figure out your plan of attack, your actions that work for you. Your actions aren't supposed to teach them that they shouldn't do that. You're not their mom. It's your path. We need to find through that foreign territory. So we talked about it. And we talked about it. She talked about it. One point in one conversation, she said, "Why are they out to get me?" And I said, "They're not out to get you. You have to meet with some people at a certain time, and it's late in the day. You realize that they're meeting with a lot of other people in the same situation all the way through the day before your appointment? Oh, this is a process. To be able to walk your path, you have to understand the process. Once you understand the process and you see their job, you can better choose the thing that you want to do, that you can do, that benefits you. Well, let's not have the emotional frustration, angry, they need to. Let's not do that conversation. We already did it. I understand. I get it. I get it. I get it. Now let's do something that's helpful. Let's do something that works for you. Periodically, she would come back around to it. And then I said, "You're staying stuck on purpose?" "No." "All right. Then you're staying stuck by accident." "Well, I don't know what to do." "I know." So you're picking things that don't work, that you know don't work, because at least you're picking something. Yes, because at least if you pick something, you feel like you're in control. Yes, there is no control here. It's not about control. It's about getting through the best you can. Oh, is that what you do? Yes. What are you talking about your simple win then? The simple win is, I know how I want to come out of this. I am aware of what their job is because I looked into it. I don't know it, but I get the concept of what they're supposed to do. And I know what I want to do. Now, let me figure out how I can navigate my way through that to get to where I want to be. Show me how to do that. All right. It is so normal to circle the wagons when we feel threatened by something we can't fix, can't control, sometimes can't hear or see. Safety in numbers. Stay home. Stay in bed. Stay under the bed. But that makes you a victim. That gives you no ability to choose what you want. It puts you in a react stage where you don't want to be. You want to be able to assess and respond. You can't assess, which is thinking, logical, also creative, but logical. Adrian's right. Also creative, assess it logically, this. Okay, how can I create my path out of here? How can I make this work to my advantage? What can I bring that the other side won't expect in the conversation? The element of surprise is very valuable. So the question for the me hat, just me. What do I want? Why do I want it? Why do I want it? Is that true? Or am I saying it to make it possible for me to keep wanting something? What do I want? Why do I want it? Okay, if something big went wrong and lots of things had to change and adjust and shift in order to accommodate something that went wrong, I don't know, a tsunami, boom, hotel. Where's the hotel? It was here a minute ago. Okay. I'm not moving from this hotel. Yeah, well, okay. We'll move the hotel then. There you go. What has to change for you to still be okay? For you to still feel, okay, I got this. Well, it's going to be, I'm not, I, blah, blah. What has to change? What are you willing to adapt, adjust, reset, recalibrate? We always go through this channel. Well, it's plugged now, so you got to sail around a different way. And I like that channel. It's gone. Well, that's not fair. Okay, but in the meantime, pick another way. And we all do it. And we all do it. Why do we do it? We do it because familiar feels safe. We all do it because at some point we have said, I plant my flag. This is my turf. This is my territory. And I have every right. I was doing some relationship coaching for a while. So cool, so interesting, so crazy. And I was having this conversation with a woman, and she said, all I'm saying is, this is the start of the sentence. She walks into, all I'm saying is, I thought probably it isn't. Probably there'll be a lot more after whatever this is you're about to say. Mutinous little brain going on here. All I'm saying is the next guy is going to have to step up. And I take out my notebook and I said, really? How do you mean that exactly? How do I mean that? What do you mean? The next guy is going to have to show me some respect. No more of this. I'm going to do this and I'm going to hope they like that. No, the next guy is going to have to this and this and this and this and this. And that's the deal breaker for me. And I thought, this isn't takeout. You can't order. I want this and I want it smiling and I want this and I want flowers okay. And I said, interesting list. She said, you're not writing anything down. I said, well, no, we're in a discussion point at this point. And I said, I have a question. And she said, what is it? And I said, what's in it for them? What? I said, we now know what you want. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say you want it because the last several people that you've chosen or who chose you failed to measure up in these areas. Because now, and she said, that's right. And I said, okay. So with the new person who hasn't done anything to offend you yet, what's in it for them to do all these things for you? What are you going to do for them that makes those things a reasonable exchange? I don't have to do anything. Was that the way you felt in the previous relationships? No, I bent over, I did this and I did that, and I'm sick and tired of it. Okay. It's those people that you're angry with. No, I'm angry at myself. So this really isn't about giving me a list of qualities. This is about you setting your boundaries. This is you putting up fence markers. Are you going to electrify the fence? Wait, once you get it all up? Damn straight. Okay. What kind of partner would you like if you came to the table prickly all over the place because you're defending today and tomorrow against yesterday, your behaviors and theirs? What are you going to bring that's fresh and new and original and welcoming to today and the future? If I had people lined up outside, do you think I'm going to march somebody in here and have you yell at them for something that someone else in the past did to you? I'm not going to do that. Why would I do that? Why would I allow anyone to punish somebody who hadn't done anything? Well, all I'm saying, I know what you're saying. So what is it that you want? I want respect. And I said, so it begins at home, right? What? It sounds like you weren't respecting your boundaries first. It sounds like you were teaching people that it wasn't necessary to respect your boundaries because they observed your behavior and they mirrored you. It's how we learn everything, by mirroring. So what kind of a situation are we going to set up for you that's different? That starts on fresh ground, without the baggage, with the awareness of errors made and prices paid. What are we going to want? And then we find people who want similar things. And I said, what's your definition of a relationship? And she said, well, I don't have a very good definition of it because my parents were a train wreck. And I said, okay, so you have no idea what a relationship is supposed to be then. So you guessed the first time, you guessed wrong. What did you do the second time? Same thing, I guess. Okay. And the next time after that? It's a pattern. I keep doing it. Okay. It's the only one you knew. It didn't work, but you kept doing it because it was the only one you knew. Is there the slightest possibility that you wanted to do it until you found somebody who complied so that the story you were telling, you would be able to finally say, you see, I was right? Is that a remote possibility? It's a very, very interesting conversation, mostly for me, obviously, because I remember it and I'm sharing it. But it's a very interesting conversation for her side because basically she had guessed and yelled and held her breath and turned blue pretty much her whole life because she didn't have teachers who were present when she needed to learn something essential. She was sick that day. They were sick that day when the homework was given out. They didn't understand each other. The parents said something, she misunderstood it. She asked something, they misunderstood it. All those things are possible. What they end up with is not good. Why I'm laughing, the image just popped in my head. It's not totally irrelevant to this, although it's a bit of an outlier. And I was in college, you're cramming for exams because, who studies well in advance, for heaven's sake, cramming for exams. And we're all in the cafeteria and we're cramming for exams. We're in the students' lounge cramming for exams. And in the students' lounge, there was a coffee vending machine and foodless food snack vending machine. And one of us got up, not me, got up, went to the drink machine, put in things, standing there, not paying any attention, just totally overwhelmed, exhausted, panicked, everything. Pushed a bunch of buttons, cup fell. He's standing there, just sort of, the cup stuff goes in it the way it does, and then it goes beep, and he lifts the thing and he brings up the cup. He turns back, and I happen to be looking at him, and he's walking back, and he's bringing the cup up to his mouth, and he looks down into it, and he like this, and when he got to the table, he said, does anybody Does anyone want chicken soup with extra cream and sugar? It was running around doing- like the ingredients couldn't get away from each other. It's like a science experiment. So he was not present. Not present when he got out, not present when he went over, not present when he pushed the buttons. Bum, 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 bum. You realize how long ago it is that I can remember that poor guy's moment. If if we are not paying attention to why we're doing things and we keep trying to make it work when it doesn't, okay, maybe try twice, maybe three times, but at the third time, did you maybe want to check the instructions? Did you maybe want to check your motivation? What is it I really want here? Well, it has to be that way. Why? Who says? Well, I mean, I want to be right. Why do you want to be right? Because I it's been the thing I've dreamed of. Okay, so it was a dream and it's a lovely dream. And now you want to make it real and maybe there's some adjustments to be made. Well, I don't see why not. Why can't I have a Prince Charming? You can. What does Prince Charming do for a living? What? In the fairy tale. What does he do for a living? What do you mean? He's a prince. Okay. So what does he do? What do you mean? He does prince things. Okay. Does he help with the dishes? I don't know. Okay, but you expect them to help with the dishes. You expect them to take you out. You expect them to take out the garbage when you ask. You expect them to do stuff. Does Prince Charming actually do that stuff? Does a white knight do the dishes? Mostly I thought they were on horseback, fighting dragons. You got to get your fairy tale characters in order here. And you have to get the fairy tale element real, workable, logical, creative, simply because you watched a Disney movie and you fell in love with the idea of happily ever after. Every time somebody says happily ever after, I say, after what? Lunch? Life is a work in progress. We are works in progress. Why did you stay with that psychotic person who had an agenda to take everything you had? Why did you keep staying? I was hoping they would change. Why would they change? What's in it for them to change? What they're doing is working for them. Well, it can't be working for them. I mean, they can't be happy. They are perfectly happy. Well, if they cared, they wouldn't be happy. Bingo. Bingo. So, what do we do to keep stuck? How far are we prepared to go to stay in the comfort zone where we're in charge? How much are we willing to sacrifice for the illusion of being in charge, being in control, being right? I told you I was right. What is that worth? Is that worth all the happiness? Is that worth the joy of, oh my God, can you believe that? How awesome was that? Somebody said to me the other day, how do you find so much stuff to be up about? I said, I don't look at the stuff to be down about. That's pretty awful. Okay. Let's not dwell on it. Do you know it's there? Is it denial? No, I know it's there. I know exactly what it's there for, and I know how long it's been there, and I have no idea and don't really need to invest any time in wondering how long it will be there. What I'll do is I'll just go over here. Bugs Bunny cartoon. The Tasmanian devil is coming. Bugs opens the front door, walks casually. Tasmanian devil. Blah, 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 Bugs opens the back door. Tasmanian devil goes all the way through. Bugs closes the back door, walks through the house, closes the front door. Devil. It's never that simple. But the starting point, when we say, okay, what is in it for me? And let's be honest with me. What's in it for me? Is it control? Okay, so control is an illusion. So what's the next thing that can be in it for me for? Comfort? Okay, but what if the comfort zone that I'm looking for is also an illusion? What if I'm actually ready for change and that's why change is upon me? What happens if I just relinquish control for a minute and see what happens? If we can't actually control stuff, then what can we do instead? We can get in the boat, get our favorite things, and row, damn it, row. Is that a retreat? No, I would say it's a recalibration. Why did you build a home here? We loved it. Do you love it now? We would love it now, except that there's all kinds of stuff wrong. So we're finding someplace else. We have the ability to do that. The thing I want to say to you guys today, Easter is upon us. Easter is upon us. Spring is upon us. It is a time of beginnings. It is a time for what ifs. It is a logical progression that we all go through. Oh, it's not that bad. No, it's okay. No, it's fine. You know what? I don't mind. From that to, you know what? It's not good enough. I'm sorry, it's not good enough. I've okayed my last okay. It's not good enough. Step 3. What if? And what if is the most powerful, magical mindset reset, because it gives you the passion and the purpose and the inner child delight in possibility. And that makes everything worthwhile. I hope that going into this weekend, going into the beginnings, the real beginnings of spring, April. They used to say April is the cruelest month. It's not, it's the coolest month. Let's do a fresh beginning. Let's look at something we've tried and held our breath and turned blue, and we don't even look good in blue, so I don't know why we're doing that anymore. And let's give ourselves permission to try something different. Give yourself permission to give these things that I'm sharing with you the benefit of the doubt. If you've been stuck, if you've felt stuck, if you've felt left out, left behind, not validated, and it's made you want to get even somehow with something, you know what? Pointless exercise. There are people who validate you. There are people who honor you, respect you, admire you. We never see them if we're facing the wrong way. Have people done things to me to get something? Sure. I'm still here. And I'm annoyingly cheerful. Why? Because I'm walking here, not walking all over them. I have no interest in investing any energy in getting even, if that's even possible. I got stuff I'm doing. And I want you to join me. I want you to say to yourself, you know what? Here's what I want. Here's what I used to want. Here's what I want now. And if you're not sure how to transition from that to this, I'm right here. All right? Okay. Enjoy the weekend. Hug people you want to hug. Pat people you don't want to hug. And I'll see you next week. Okay? Same place, same time. Tuesday, Thursday, 10 o'clock Abbey time. And I can't wait for the next installment. I hope you feel the same. The drill is be good to you. You deserve it. And remember to hug your loved ones because they deserve it too.